Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. I figured I'd make one this time on a little project I was working on, as you can see on the screen, which is this right here. This is a side scoop for a Porsche Boxster, I believe it is. And Buddy had asked to make one of these for him because he can get the one side, but could not get the other side, this one right here. So I figured I'd give it a shot. It would give me a good reason to learn how to use a 3D scanner and bring that into Fusion 360 to eventually 3D print. So I'm just going to kind of run you through the process and see how this goes. So this was the original part here. If we take a look at the slideshow I got up here, the original one right there, and my 3D printed one. So I used the Einscan S 3D scanner, and this Einscan, it's a structured light system where it sends out this like little pattern of light against the object, and as those patterns move, it's able to record the images, and from those images it's kind of able to mesh them all together. And one of the first problems I had encountered is that this piece here is highly reflective, so as a result it wouldn't pick up on the pattern. So I had to use this stuff right here, the Spot Check SKD S2 aerosol, which is basically applies this light film or powder over the surface. I believe they also use it for magnifluxing like engine blocks and everything like that to check for cracks. So then once I got that in, I was able to scan it and had to scan it like I don't know how many times on this turntable and move it around and eventually get something that looks like this when I was all done. Now what you can see on here is like all these little triangular surfaces are facets, and there was like tens of thousands of them. And the issue is like, how do I get that down to something that I can bring into Fusion 360 and then mirror? So I had to simplify it a few times, and then simplify it in the program that came with the Einscan. From there, I then had to use Fusion 360 to simplify it even further, to basically get these like little triangles to be bigger but still maintain the shape. So I did that, able to finally get it into Fusion 360, which I think I'll do a video on that as well, to then get something like this. Now here in this one, I basically had to hollow out that inside, which I did. So if we take a look from here to there, hollow out the inside and fix any couple of imperfections on there. Then I mirrored it, so I get that, sent it to the printer, so you get this image right here, and ultimately this is a little time lapse I'll show towards the end of it actually printing. And if you notice here, so I printed it upside down just so that the support material would be able to move it through and kind of keep it shaped, which I was a little worried about because I wasn't sure how well it was going to pull off. And then this is it. This was the finished one right on the print bed itself. And you can see the support there and how it went through. And so another view of the support material. And it pulled off in one chunk. I was actually pretty impressed with the way it pulled off. I was pretty happy. And so it's got a rough finish on the top. I did the highest and fastest setting I could. So this was a 0.9mm layer and no detail. Just basically churn this thing out with about 3mm filament. But ultimately it came out not so bad to that. I mean, lay it on, put it on a table next to each other side by side. They're pretty good. I mean, so with a little like bodywork and filler, probably look pretty good when it's done. So that's pretty much the process I used to make this. I'm gonna probably do some individual videos on how to go from basically this, something you 3D scan, to this, and maybe even a little bit on the 3D scanning process itself. And then the rest of the 3D printing there is pretty much straightforward. So that's about it. I'll leave you with this little time-lapse video of it, and that's it. So if you have any other questions about this process, let me know. And that's it. Have a good night. Bye.